here to talk about what happens to the physical under the influence of techno-saturation. So with our computational networks, nearly instantaneous access to information, social networks, unprecedented mobility, interconnectedness, and vast reservoirs of data, how will architects respond to these rapidly changing circumstances and the technologies that are rapidly coming onto the scene? So one thing we know is that we have granular audiences that are defined and accessible, like the one here tonight, where designers can tap into these audiences and participate in recruiting people who are engaged particular sensibility or ambitions for design. We know that there are incredible developments in the material science world as a result of emerging technology. We have organic substitutes, which will define the new green. So instead of dropping everything to wear the mantle of scarcity and sustainability, we'll turn to organic substitutes that better perform than their machine-made equivalent. So we can grow what we need, like these youngsters from RPI who turned mushrooms into packing material that's biodegradable. So instead of relying on the manufacture of industrial sheets, we can produce insulation in any shape to the exact specifications we need, which I think has major ramifications for design. Hopefully we'll see less of this, though in a field I'm happy to see energy producing algae. We'll also have biological replacements. So we'll invent machines that will replace either failing or obsolete biological organisms. So we have robots, automation, and motion through sensing that will allow us to evolve as we confront change. So scientists who are studying column collapse disorder of bees are actually under the influence of the unmanned drone to produce bees that need to solve simple wireless communication, energy source, and manufacturing economy to do disaster relief, manual pollination, and to solve problems that larger, weightier bodies can't. We'll experience dynamic virtuality. It'll be an ever-present part of experience, whether you're visiting with your nurse remotely or whether you're going to school through something like the Vigo bot. And then of course there's Google's driverless car with a mere $150,000 worth of equipment. You can play with your phone instead of looking where you're going. And this real-time sensing and pervasive computing has major impacts on the future of urbanism. It changes the density of our transportation infrastructure by 2 to 3 times. It allows for dynamic alterations to this infrastructure so that you can respond your traffic patterns to the conditions of the day. We'll have high-tech DIY manufacturing without supply chain and manufacturing constraints, which yields productive exchanges between different design fields, from architecture and food to parametric design and fashion and on-demand supply to the youngsters at RPI who grew the interior of this mushroom tiny house, which also demonstrates the creative limits of DIY. Then there's molecular gastronomy. We're testing next year's Runway cocktails. And all of this DIY activity, I think, shows the interrelatedness of the mechanical and the digital paradigm, where a prop designer in San Francisco can connect with an injured carpenter in South Africa and develop a pro-social company for prosthetic devices that are custom fit to children with birth defects. And lastly, something of particular interest to me is dynamic physicality, which is coming up with new transitions between physical and virtual states, whether it's tunable clay interfaces for sculptural 3D modeling, haptic lenses where you can feel the stiffness of an image as you scan it with this device, and mobile jamming platforms where simple air pumps, low voltage batteries, and jamming volumes can produce different types of devices, all with the same material volume. These responsive interfaces revolutionize the possibilities of manufacture and the relationships of molds to parts, whether it be fabric-formed responsive concrete for new forms of tilt-up, or the introduction of responsive materials to spatial environments, where pneumatics can create dynamic physicalities in the spatial environments that we inhabit. Thank you.